All right, I'm starting here a little early. I'm starting here a minute early, something like that. Not too early, but a minute early, something like that. A live catch up with Mayo. Oh boy, what a morning it's been. You have no idea what to get where I am today. What we went through. There was a little bit of a rant here, in person rant that I did here because I'm not in the usual room I'm in either. That's another thing. I'm in another room altogether, and it's all right. We'll see how it works out. But yeah, my girlfriend had to come here. She had to be here 8:30 in the morning, and she needed to be here 8:30 in the morning. It was very important, and we were both listening actually to the Beatles' Blue album, and we were really getting into it. Hearing the different mixes and concentrating, and the weather's beautiful this morning, and we were looking at the foliage, the trees and all the colors and everything for the nice fall weather. And we missed our exit. So, okay, we missed the exit. So we'll try to turn around. We couldn't turn around. There was no turnaround allowed. We were going insane and we were doing everything possible to try to get back at where we had to go. So we weren't able to get here 8:30. We got here 9 o'clock in the morning. We were half hour late because of that. Neither one of us was paying attention to the exit. And that started everything. Then I got here, and I was supposed to be in my usual room, the usual room that I come in here. The woman here that works here told me, "Oh, it's available, no problem, it's available." And I go in there, and there are people working in there. So we had to find another room that took forever, and so I just kind of like for a minute there, I just kind of lost it a little bit. I said, "This is ridiculous. I'm tired of coming up here. This is the my girlfriend's going to have to get her own car because I'm tired of this." And I started like, "Well, yeah, look, I'm a human being like anybody else, and I'm usually, you come up here, you play the game, you stay calm, cool, collected. Hello, good morning, ha ha ha, la 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 la, nice day, isn't it? Ha ha ha, and all this stuff." But today I was having none of it because everything went wrong. And I managed to have a little breakfast before I started. I'm in a room right now, as you can see. And who knows if I'll be interrupted here? I don't know if any people are going to come in. This is a classroom. This is like a second or third grade classroom. I hope there are no children. Sometimes on Sunday they have children that come in these rooms to, I don't know, play or whatever they're doing. So we might have a nice interruption. Hello, everybody that's here. Hello. Yeah, I'm starting out with a complaint. That's me. If I have a complaint, I will make it tough. It's the way I am. Hello, everybody. You know all your names, right? I don't have to say it. I don't have to say them. Okay, this is going to be another thing that's annoying about this is a special day here that it's going to be longer than usual. I'm stuck here. So I plan on doing two different discussions here. This first one that I'm doing here is just me, myself. You're stuck with me by myself, which I call Catch Up with Mayo. And then at 12 noon, I'm gonna take a break after this. I'm gonna take a little break, and I'm gonna start again. And I'll be doing a group chat where we have more than one person. We can have a panel here. I call that the Mayo Lounge. So there's 4 hours of me here or so, if you want. So whatever. All right. So like I said, hello to everybody. Okay. First question it looks like I have here is Lila, which is not a surprise because she always comes up with a lot of varied questions. What's the white box set version that both the red and blue have been released? Is that the people online are unboxing? Yeah, well, the red and blue also come available in they call it a slip case, that nice cool box, that sturdy box that people have been showing. Mine has been on order. I don't know when I'm going to get that. I ordered from the Beetle store, red vinyl and blue vinyl. I don't know when I'm ever going to get that. I'll show it here. But you as you say, Lyle, everybody's already seen it. I know some channels have already shown it, so it's not going to be exactly a breaking news here. It's going to be just repeating what other people have already shown. Now, again, I wear glasses. Like I said, folks, these glasses, I didn't wear glasses my entire life. I had perfect vision My whole life I had perfect vision. Then when I turned 50, I started needing reading glasses to read, which is okay. So when you read, you wear glasses, big deal. But now I need them all the time, and I have like the top is distance and the bottom is close, and I really need them up here like this to read your question. When you do this, they kind of go down. There's not much I can really do. Got to go like this, tilt my head up a lot. So anyway, here we are. Yeah, Mike. When I say when I say 4 hours, I don't mean 4 hours of just me here by myself. I'm gonna do about I don't know. I'm gonna do like 2 hours here by myself, I guess. Two hours with Mayo alone, and then I'm gonna take like a little break for half an hour or so, maybe stretch my legs a bit, and I'll be back here at 12 noon Eastern to do another hour and a half or so, and that'll be the Mayo Lounge where I want other people to come up. I told a few of my friends that I'll be doing it, but I don't know if they're able to make it. We'll see. Okay, Lila says she doesn't think that it's available in the U. I don't think the colored vinyl is available in the U.S. The U.K. I'm sorry, the U.K. Somebody got mad at me because I keep calling Britain England. Is that wrong? I don't know anything about geography and history. You know that. So I just, whenever I think of Britain, Great Britain, I say, hey, England, it's England. It's England. And people say, no, 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 please. There's a difference between Great Britain and England. And I'm like, I thought it was all England. I don't know. What do I know? You know. So there you go, Scott. Good morning. Good morning to anybody. Anybody that I haven't said good morning to personally, I say good morning to all of you now collectively. So yeah, so I listened to the Blue album on CD, and I really was enjoying it. I really was. I was enjoying it until we missed our exit. Then I got pissed. I shut it off because we were trying to concentrate so we didn't get too lost. But Strawberry Fields, I love on this Blue album. Penny Lane, I love. Sergeant Pepper, I love. I love the Sergeant Pepper, the song with a little help from my friends. I love that. Lucy the Sky with Diamonds, I love. A Day in the Life, I love. These sound fantastic. It's amazing. Again, I was, even though I've heard these songs a million times, again, I am amazed. It's amazing. I don't have to tell you folks that the Beatles made so many changes in 1967 with Sergeant Pepper. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band has never been my personal favorite album of theirs, but it is a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. It is a trendsetter. It is a innovator. Is a world changer. It is incredible when you really think about it. Okay, Great Britain is the whole island, whereas England is part of the island. Okay, Great Britain. So if I just say Britain, how about I just say UK? If I just say UK, am I safe? Excuse me. Good morning, Lee. And you know what was funny, by the way? When we were driving today and we missed our exit, we realized we were going to get lost. Do you know what I Am the Walrus was playing? And that's the one, of course, I really wanted to listen to again. I really pay attention this time. So we would get all flustered. Oh, I Am the Walrus comes on. I'm enjoying the first half of it, and then it's like, oh, we missed the exit. Oh, what are we going to do? Get off here. Oh, no, you can't make a U turn. Oh, what are we going to do? I'm sorry, I was listening to the music. So was I. Both of us weren't paying attention. What are we going to do? Oh, I had to be there. I'm so. My girlfriend's like, I had to be there 8:30. Now I'm going to be late. So I shut the CD off. I said, on the drive home, I'll continue with I Am the Walrus. I'll start it from I Am the Walrus on and stuff. Don't you kind of wish there was more spacing between the Stones and the Beatles release because the Stones Triumph deserved longer attention? No. Yeah, well, as you know, Lee, I really love the new Stones album, Hackney Diamonds. I think it is a masterpiece. I really do, and I love it. I was raving about it, and yes, the Beatles have now stolen all of the Stones' thunder. On the one hand, I feel too bad they didn't put more distance between the two because the Stones deserved a lot more acclaim and attention for this before the Beatles took over. That's on the one hand. I agree. On the other hand, as a Beatles guy more than a Stones guy, I think it's hilarious that they kind of eclipsed the Stones and took all their excitement and thunder away. So I feel both ways about it. All right, Woodland says, I listened to I Want to Hold Your Hand, new 2023 stereo mix. Uh, the Beatles one is so much better. I disagree 100,000%. I absolutely love the new I Want to Hold Your Hand. Nothing bad there to me. I disagree. I mean, I haven't heard the Beatles one 2015 in a long time. But I will tell you this: I'm sure that the Beatles one version of "She Loves You" is a lot better than this. "She Loves You," they really dropped the ball with this. Really, really disgusting. I know some people like "She Loves You." I don't know what you're listening to. We all have different ears, of course, but "She Loves You" is muffled, smothered. The voice is not clear. Terrible. Guitars are not clear. Spring Hill Jim, I don't plan on getting Mickey Dolenz EP, even though I like Mickey Dolenz. He's my favorite monkey, and I like the monkeys, but I'm not going to get it. Okay, good morning, Joe. The UK is Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Well, then I'm sick of it. What am I supposed to say, folks? Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. Do I say hello England? Do I say hello Great Britain? Do I say hello UK? What do I say? What do I say? You tell me. Great Britain equals England plus Wales plus Scotland. Scotland, okay. Oh, I have had quite a morning. It's been a bad morning, and I admit it, some people like when I'm like this, some people don't. I am very punchy this morning. So I really am. And I'm hoping that this stream calms me down. And it's been a lousy, like I said, I've been coming here with my girlfriend because this is like a second side job for her. She comes here, it's just like a side job. So she doesn't drive, so I drive her up here. It's at least an hour to get here, or sometimes more depending on traffic. And this is the only first time I blew up in here because I'm sick and tired of coming here on Sunday mornings and they tell me a certain room is going to be available. I have a certain room number that I prefer. And then I come here all the time and it's fine. And then the woman tells me, "Oh," I said to her, is room 12 available?" She said, "Oh, sure, it's available." I go there and I open the door and there are people sitting in there. "Oh, wait, but you can't use this room today." "Oh, really? Where? What am I going to use? I got things to do here, you know." So I said, and I just said things. I just said things like, "That's it. She's getting her own car. That's it. I'm done with this. This is nonsense." And I calm down. But hey, I'm a human being, folks. Like I say, I'm never going to be a phony. That's one thing. If you want a phony baloney, there's lots of people you can watch. I won't name names, but there's lots of phony balonies you can watch out there. If you just want people that are always going to be on all the time and cheerful, but that's don't get me wrong. I'm still having a good time because once I see all of you and I connect with all of you, all my troubles just melt away. Okay, Wes got up at 4 a.m. this morning, listened to 67 to 70 for the first time. The White Album remixes are the weakest. Yeah, Walrus is different, but I liked it. A lot of people are saying they like I Am the Walrus. That's just bizarre to me. I don't understand it. It doesn't make them wrong, and it doesn't make me right. It doesn't make me right, wrong, and them right. But I don't. I Am the Walrus is fine, but how could any? I wonder how anybody. And Wes, I know that you're obviously Wes. You're a big fan, and you know all the songs. How, what I'm asking is, I can understand people liking this song up till the radio stuff, but how could you condone that radio stuff? It's a totally different song, totally different affair. Well, the past masters version of "She Loves You," Marcus, I agree. It's better in the sense that it's clear. It's much clearer. You can hear that. I mean, it should have been. "She Loves You" should have been much sharper on this red album. It should have been sharper and cleaner and clearer. But you can hear it. But the problem is on past masters, it's so clear that you can hear all those nasty edits very clearly. And the edits really take me out of the song. Look at Woodland's ears, Tom Henriati says. Of course, he heard it differently. Like I said, Tom, so and everybody, I think I sent you a message. I'm going to be doing a Mayo lounge. You know that. And I'm going to say it. I'll be repeating that a few times here. After I'm done with this, I'll be doing a Mayo lounge. That'll be at 12 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Eastern time. And maybe Tom, other people maybe could join. We'll see. Are you sitting in a nice, comfy chair in that awful looking cold room? Well, Lila, it's not, I got to say, it's not too cold in here yet. It's only fall. In the winter, it's going to get cold in here. But actually, you can see a thermostat here. See this? I turned the thermostat up to 71 a little bit. It's not too cold in here, but it's like if I turn the camera around, I forget how you do that. If I could flip how to flip the camera, I would show you the deal. Hello, Dino. My girlfriend's doing great, but she wasn't too happy today because we both of us together missed our exit. We come here all the time. We know it like the back of our hand. I never noticed that before. No, seriously, we know it like the back of our hand. But we just missed the exit. I was listening to the Blue album and I was really enjoying it. Apparently, she was too. And we were looking at it was beautiful morning, sunshine, the trees are turning colors, and we were admiring the trees and we missed the exit. So she wasn't too happy about that because she was late. Just say hello, UK, and that covers everybody. Well, I mean, I understand that, but the problem is, like, I don't know if some. I think when anybody has a British accent, I say, hey, here's somebody from England, here's somebody from the UK, here's somebody from Britain. I don't know. Lila says, I think you just look forward to your live stream schedule and you're used to the same room. Hey, things happen. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lila. Thank you, everybody, for understanding. Very sterile white cement background. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we have here. Do you think Past Masters has a boring sleeve? Yes, I do. I think the Beatles albums from like, I don't know, 1980s onward have nothing but boring covers. Yeah, I hear people walking around outside. I can't wait till they tell me they got to use this room. I can't wait. The woman told me this is available, so let's see. Okay, videos at home. It says I'm going to hold on to the red and the blue on vinyl. However, I'm at some point getting the CD version. Okay, okay. Lee says, Joe, on the new blue CD version, does Back in the USSR fade into Dear Prudence? No, it's a clean break, which I think is nice. That's one of the things I liked. If Walrus was on the Love album, you would forgive it, but because all the songs are remixed, not changed, that's the point. It'll never be a bad song, but it has been drastically changed. Well, like I say, I've been listening to the end of I Am the Walrus with the radio noise and the radio talk and King Lear and all that for 50 plus years, however long I've been listening to it. Since it came, whatever, when I started listening to the Beatles. And it's etched in my brain that way. And I don't want to hear it this other way. I don't. Again, I don't mind John's voice. I don't mind the mix up until the radio at the end. You Matchstickman says, "Do you think 'Don't Bother Me' would have been a nicer choice instead of 'Roll Over Beethoven'?" I love the song "Don't Bother Me." I love the song "Don't Bother Me." I would rather have had a George song on there rather than "Roll Over Beethoven." However, I keep saying, "Do you want to know a secret?" is what I would have picked. And not because I like "Do You Want to Know a Secret." I'm not. I've never loved that song, but I just think it was a hit. It was kind of somewhat of a hit song, so it fits this album. And I know George didn't write it, You know, it's a Lennon and a McCartney song, but George sings it. It's his first real vocal, more or less, on Beatles album. I think "Do You Want to Know a Secret" would have made more sense to put on that than "Roll Over Beethoven" or "Don't Bother Me." To tell you the truth, is the new "She Loves You" the first stereo version? Somebody help me on that. I should know the answer, but I want to say yes. I don't know. Was Past Masters stereo or the one album? I need to say hello, UK and Ireland. The Beatles were from England in the 60s, but no one says England anymore. Okay. Am I going to keep my old red and blue CDs? I'll let everybody in for a shock. I don't think I owned the red and the blue on CD before now. I never went for that. Yeah, that stuff at the end, is he dead? Sit you down, father, rest you. Is the end of the song. Now people keep telling me, oh, it's still there, it's still there. You can hear it if you wear the headphones. Folks, I don't want to have to wear headphones to hear something. Um, it's very faint. You can still hear it, but it's not like it was on the original single. That's the way the song ended for my whole life. That's the way I want the song to end. I want to hear all that chatter. I want to be able to hear, the whole thing about bury my body and letters finds about me to Edwin Earl of Gloucester, seek him out. Well, I want to hear all this stuff exactly the way you've always heard it. And at the end, I want to say, "What is he dead? Sit you down, father. Rest you." You hear a little ah at the end. I know I could hear it, the fade out. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear it exactly the way it's always been. I don't want him playing around with the radio or playing around with it. Except we hear different radio sounds. We don't hear that the dialogue is clear. The dialogue is kind of the original dialogue with King Lear is kind of there. It's kind of like loitering about, kind of like you hear it a little bit, but it's nowhere near the way it always was, and I don't like it. What can I tell you? Well, I love "Don't Bother Me" also, but then again, I try to be objective. Just because I love it doesn't mean I think it. Because I love "Don't Bother Me," but I don't really think too much of it. "Do You Want to Know a Secret?" That doesn't mean that I think "Don't Bother Me" should be on the album. I think "Do You Want to Know a Secret" was a hit, a modest hit. I don't agree. I don't understand. In fact, I heard. I think it was my friend, my good friend Beetle Tone. I think he was joking around on his. He had a live stream several days ago, and I was playing it, and he said something like, I'm paraphrasing, but something about you could get rid of Yellow Submarine, except for Yellow Submarine. And I'm like, what? There's not just with Beatley Tone, but a lot of people don't care for Yellow Submarine these days. It's funny how things go. You have certain songs or albums that get like a reevaluation. They become more popular. They become liked more than they used to. The Ram album by Paul is now rightfully so considered a great album, where it wasn't before. People all of a sudden are loving John Lennon's Mind Games. All of a sudden, Mind Games is becoming a great John Lennon album. But in the case of Yellow Submarine, we're going through a period where, for some reason, everybody's knocking it lately. But I don't agree at all. I think that I definitely think that Yellow Submarine is a classic. It's a classic. I think it's number one, isn't it? Of course, it belongs on the Blue Album. That's a good analogy. The new "I Am the Walrus" would be like replacing "A Day in the Life" with the final note with the humming instead of the dong that they usually have. So, I don't think the music is fine in the new "She Loves You" either, Lila. I don't like the music or the vocals. But "Dirty Dishwater" is a nice analogy. I like that. Do I think the red and blue are cash grabs? I hate that term, cash grab. It's overused. It's a stupid saying. People use it all the time. Where we didn't go around saying cash grab in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000. This is a new thing. Everybody loves using it. And the thing that gets me about it is I've said this before. It's not a question of whether or not, to me, in my opinion, it's not a question of whether or not these things are cash grabs. I think the answer is yeah. But everything's a cash grab. And I know I've repeated this a million times. I'll repeat it another million times, I'm sure. But in my opinion, businesses exist to make money. They want to put out product, as much of it as they can, to try to sell it to you. And you have the option. Gee, they put some wares out there for sale. Am I going to buy these wares or am I going to pass up? It's nothing new. They've been doing it forever. By that logic, the Beatles' first album, "Please Please Me," was a cash grab. They wanted to sell it. They put out advertisements, Beatles' new album, blah blah blah. On the cover, they put "Love Me Do" contains "Love Me Do," and all this stuff. People are trying to sell things. It's nothing new. So the cash grab thing is really silly to me, in my opinion. Hello, Eddie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 7 songs from Rubber Soul on the Red album, so half of Rubber Soul has a 2023 mix. So when they finally release Rubber Soul, we won't get what we want. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. We've got half of the Rubber Soul album now already out on the Red, and we'll get the other half later. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed up with that. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with that. I don't know when I'm going to get my colored vinyl. The only thing I'm waiting on still is the colored vinyl from the Beatles store. So good luck with for yours. Yeah, what little grunt are we talking about? I didn't hear that. But something else that's there that I don't remember hearing before is when they say, "Geez, what's the line that John says?" See how they run. See how they run. And then you hear like a ha 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 ha, something that was never there before. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Uh, Sorry about my hand, folks. Would have been great if Sean would have contributed never before seen footage of John 1980 for now and then video. There's always time for that. Joe, it sounds like you want Walrus remastered rather than remixed. Well, now, can I ask you how that logic fits, Lee? If I like 99% of the album, or let's say 85 to 90% of the album, obviously, um, you know, I like the remixes. I like most of the remixes on the albums, Red and Blue. But you talk about I Am the Walrus specifically. I Am the Walrus specifically. I don't know what you're talking. As I've said, I don't care if they remix it, but how come other songs in here don't they're remixed and they don't sound so different? That's a poor argument in my case, in my opinion, because I think it's a poor argument you're making because they're all remixed. The ones that are remixed, this is the only one that's highly objectionable. So I don't understand. There you go. Robert S. Listen to I'm the Walrus this morning. The ending was butchered, in my opinion. Of course, maybe they think the young audience that they want to pull have no idea who Shakespeare is. Absolutely. And I don't want to hear all these excuses, which I'm sure I'm going to hear. Well, originally the end of I'm the Walrus was in mono. So when you try to demix it and try to mix it again or whatever they do, demix, remix together, you wind up, you lose the radio, all that stuff. Then don't demix that part. Then just go leave the end in mono. If people get upset about it, just say, look, we had to leave the ending in mono. We were able to do, the last minute of the song or whatever it is had to stay mono because otherwise you would have lost all that King Lear stuff. That's what it is, and that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. So, what is the line I hear at the end of "Hey Bulldog" where it sounds like Cardi says something ending with grandchildren? I don't hear the grandchildren line myself. But one thing about the "Hey Bulldog" now, this thing is tilting over. This is bad. One thing about the "Hey Bulldog" remix that we have here. At the end, they you know, all the things, all that chatter and stuff that John and Paul say is way too much in your face. I think. Well, I feel sorry for you. I always skip Yellow Submarine when I'm listening to Revolver. I'm sorry. You say, well, I'm sorry for you, Jim, with all due respect, because I don't believe in skipping tracks when it comes to the Beatles albums. I don't believe in it. That's the way it was made. You don't skip tracks. You listen to it all the way through. But of course, your mileage may vary. That's how I do it. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, if I'm happy, if I happen to not be in the mood one day, maybe I'll skip it. If I say, like, I'll tell you, like, I skip listening to the Blue album. I skip Within You Without You. Why? Not because I don't like Within You Without You. I like it, but I knew what it was going to sound like, from the Sergeant Pepper mix. So I wound up, the 2017 Sergeant Pepper mix repeated pretty much. So I just said I want to hear the other track. I skipped that one, but in general, if I'm listening to the Revolver album as a whole concise piece of work, I don't know what problem people have with Yellow Submarine. Yeah, it's a children's kind of song. It's beautiful. It's Ringo. Ringo's a delightful, charming, funny, witty guy. I think it's so great to have him doing that. And I love the sound effects that they have on there. All the sound of the water swishing and the pulling into the submarine, the gears and all that. I don't know what people are talking about, but we all like different things. So there you go. Christian thinks Paul and Ringo just he thinks Paul and Ringo just let Giles do whatever he wants and don't check his work. I don't know. I don't think everybody. I'll be honest with you. I don't think everybody can discern. I have a very discerning ear. I hear things a lot of time that people don't hear. I hear things missing that people don't hear. I've always had that. In fact, when Sean Lennon wrote to me, and he liked my "Give Me Some Truth" review, his quote was, "quote he said, Mister This guy, Mister Mayo, has a great set of ears. Doesn't miss a thing." So that's why even Sean felt that way. But I knew that already. I've always felt that way anyway. Although, as I'm getting older, um, somebody just said there was just an example here where somebody said they heard something and I didn't hear it. I forgot what that was already. The grunt has disappeared from Am The Walrus. And this thing about milking the cow, I'm sick of hearing that crap too, because you have to release these things and re-release them and re-release them and re-release them and re-release them. Why? Because you got to keep the Beatles out there, and there's always new generations. There are people, young people, that are going to have this Red and Blue album. This new Red and Blue album is going to be the introduction to the band. They're going to have never heard of the Beatles stuff before, or at least not this much of it. And it's going to be their introduction to the Beatles. You have to do this. So people that are around for a while say, "Oh, why are they re-releasing things over and over again? Boo, freaking who?" You got to realize that. You got to realize it. So it's still so then don't you might not like it again, having it again, but other people do, and it's introduction for some fans. Why did George totally embrace India? I don't know. I think he said he liked the music. He liked Indian music, and he said he really. I think he felt calm and relaxed with that. And he liked the religion and all that. It just spoke to him. You know. Uh, Good morning, Rocky O. Do you think the new Red and the Blue is clearer than the 2009 Masters? Well, I haven't heard the 2009 Masters in a long time, but from memory, yeah, I think so. I mean, but what's funny though? There are things still that I've heard. I've listened to these Beatles songs hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times on all the CDs that came out, all the different CDs, 2009, 1987. I heard them on the U.S. Capitol albums, the U.K. albums, German albums, Japanese pressings. I've heard them on Australian pressings, Canadian pressings. I've been hearing these things my whole life, and they were still as clear as these are. Sometimes there's things I've never heard before. There's things that are clearer and crisper, or that I've never heard before at all. And other times there's things missing, as I say. So I don't know. I mean, I was listening to, I saw her standing there. There was things I heard that I liked that were clear and clean and new, but there are a lot of things missing. And one thing I didn't mention is I don't like that when John's singing along, you don't really hear John singing with him as much as I used to hear it. At the very end, well, since I saw her standing there, he's like singing with Paul. I don't hear it as much on the new mix. John's voice is just not as pronounced on the harmonies as what I'm used to. And Paul's bass, surprisingly, is not as vibrant as I remember hearing it. I used to hear the bass, boom, 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 until I saw, when I saw her standing, you hear him go boom, 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 boom. You hear the bass. I don't. I was listening for that. I didn't hear it. The bass sounded a little surprisingly less to me for my ears on this. We all hear things differently. I know this keeps moving. I have a big like plastic Tupperware thing that I'm sitting the camera on. It keeps moving. Another thing I don't know if anybody's noticed. I noticed this the first time and I forgot to mention it in my review. Can't Buy Me Love, the break in the middle when Paul screams. There's two screams. It sounds like one of them he's going, ah, and the other one is a W, wow. Like, wow, wow. I hear like a W. I hear two of them at once, ah and wow together, two of them. Maybe it's not just Paul, it's Paul and somebody else, John or somebody. But all I know is I've never heard it quite with the W. I don't think I've ever heard wow like that with the W sound before. That's something I didn't bother mentioning because I don't know if other people were picked up on it or it's just me, you know. Um, yeah, I am into sci-fi movies, but I'm not into listening to War of the. I'm not into like broadcasts or things like that for War of the Worlds. No, you better listen to what I. You got to listen better. You have to clean your ears a little bit sometimes. What I said was the ending, the ending, the ending, the ending. The radio, the radio, the radio. The mono part. I want to hear that exactly as it was. And I've said many times, I've got no problem with John's voice being clearer, a little more up in the mix. So, what are you talking about? I've made it clear several times on several podcasts, several live streams. It's just the ending, the King Lear stuff that I want exactly the same. You know, exactly. Read my lips. Exactly. That's how I want it. Okay, and that's just my. It's my completely subjective opinion, Lee. Other people may feel a lot differently about it. I'm not going to answer this question, but Josh says you're probably going to whack me over the head for asking something you've answered, but I'm catching up. Other than the ending, do you like the rest of the Walrus mix? I just said that. Look, I still prefer the original mix. I do, but I can tolerate John being up more, voice more up in the mix because one of the things is that I Am the Walrus. John, to me, I always liked that John sounded like he was in another world. He's singing from beyond or something. It doesn't sound like that. Now he sounds like he's singing in the room. He's right there in the room with you. Okay, I accepted that. I listened to the song, although I prefer it with him, John sounding a little more distant. I kind of accepted that he's in your face in the new mix. That's okay. That's not really what bothers me. Bothers me is the radio stuff. So there you go. Well, this is what I'm saying. If they're going to mix them, do it right. Don't make something worse. But the problem with that, Martin, is you know how we are, Martin, you and I, right? We have this rapport that we do. But as I've told you many times, it's a simple concept, very simple concept. Everybody has a different opinion. Who gets to decide what's right and what's wrong? What's wrong to you might be right to me. What's wrong to me might be right to you. So you say do them right. Don't make it. I mean, don't make it worse. Well, don't make it worse. That's another story. I've never heard this before. I guess my ears are not as good as I thought they were. I've never ever picked that up. I don't skip Revolution 9 even when I listen to the White Album. Nope. When I listen to the White Album, I'm invested. I'm listening to the whole thing, all four sides, including Revolution 9 for me. When changing the Red and the Blue albums and adding new tracks, why not add Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane to Pepper? That's a matter of opinion also. A lot of people like that, think they should have done that, wouldn't mind doing that. Not me. Sergeant Pepper, the album, is already a masterpiece, the number one album of all time. A lot of times it was voted that. It was innovative, even without Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane. You don't need them. And I love Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane personally as a great single, a great double sided single, you know. Red and blue are set in stone like pepper. Leave them alone. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think of the red and blue as being as like what's the word? Geez, it's an easy word. These are easy words I'm trying to come up with, and I can't think of it. I don't think red and blue is as off limits as Sergeant Pepper. You know, I don't think the red and blue are as like as royalty. Like don't tamper with those as the other. Just my opinion. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if Giles Martin is familiar with these at all, believe it or not. Sometimes I get the feeling Giles Martin isn't the biggest Beatle fan or isn't that as savvy as every little sound and every nuance as we are, believe it or not. That's the feeling I get. I don't think, sometimes I really don't think that. Yeah, everybody's got to improve the mixes, but approve of the mixes. But the thing is, I always think that Paul and Ringo don't listen that as hard as we do. I don't know. It feels funny saying that about Paul, but you know, I don't think he's sitting there and going, "Oh, what happened here? Oh, there's a tambourine that's slightly less." And I used to hear the side. I used to hear somebody like groan a little more, and it's not there. I don't think I don't. I wonder if they hear as much as we do. Hello, Joe G. As far as I remember it, everybody always seemed to hate on Maxwell Silverhammer. I don't ever remember a time when anybody really loved that a lot. Like it always seemed like they were detractors of that to me. I don't know where this comes from out of the blue sky. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those people who believes that. If I believe that, and most of the crying is authentic and real. I mean, you don't have to be around with the Beatles to cry and to feel emotional. It's an emotional song, the new song, and I don't think you got to be like an old person who's grown up with the Beatles over many decades to appreciate that, to shed a tear. Personally, um, yeah, well, I think we are going to get the other albums, the earlier albums remixed, and I'm pretty sure that Giles Martin already went on record as saying that Rubber Soul will be the next one. They're not going to go. They're not going to start with "Please Please Me," according to what he had said. So, and he says we all know that the original Beatles songs were the best produced by George Martin. So why change anything? Just clean it up. For the most part, I agree with you, which is why I think Paul Hicks might have been a better choice for this or somebody else to do these. Having said that, though, there are certain things that I think have to be done. I don't like Ringo's drumming in the that Ringo's drumming. Let me word this right. I don't like that Ringo's drumming in the early albums was subdued on the record, the recording. Okay, I like very much what they did here. One of the best examples of that is 8 Days a Week. A lot of people are kind of like forgetting about, they don't like 8 days a week on this. I think 8 days a week has never sounded better than it does on this Red. And the thing that gets me is, listen, every time they're about to go in to sing, I ain't got nothing but love, babe, whatever. You always hear Ringo doing those little drum rolls, and you cannot hear them as loud. I mean, you hear them, but they're louder than ever, and they should be. Because when you listen to Anthology, if you listen to 8 days a week on the Anthology tracks, when they're running through the song several times, Ringo's drums are really audible. You can hear them. But he's really doing some rolls and things that are really interesting. And you don't hear any of that on the original released recording of 8 days a week. Now you hear it more. So there are times where I don't think, although I love George Martin, hey, George Martin, he's the fifth Beatle. George Martin is a hero. George Martin was a master, and he really, really helped the Beatles a lot, and they owe a lot to George. However, um, some of the mixes he did, panning, the stereo mixes, the singing on one side, the music on the other, never like that. And some of the choices, I think, like Hey Bulldog, the way that was mixed, that wasn't mixed well to me. Originally, Hey Bulldog, the first one, the original one. So, there's some room for improvements. I think it's my opinion. Now, you see, this is the thing I don't understand. This is the thing I don't understand. Martin, I'm gonna put something out there to you. I'm gonna challenge you. Okay. You said something reason. You said something like Beetle. Again, my friend Beatle Tone. I love Beatle Tone. I was watching his live stream he did a few days ago, and you were on there a lot, asking a lot of questions. But you're on, and you said he I don't know, he's more fair or something. You said with people, something like that. But I saw you asking him a lot of questions, and none of the comments you made there were confrontational. Nothing. None of the comments you made were like negative or trying to wind Beatley Tone up or trying to like do a zinger. When you're with me, what's the point of like? I know you don't like I me mine. Adding I me mine to anything weakens it. You're here. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. It's not that you're not entitled to your opinion, but why don't you say that things like that on Beatley Tone's chat? you know and then you say, oh, he's more tolerant, he's more he doesn't get like, well, try hitting him with a lot of zingers and see if after a while, if he doesn't kind of say, Martin, come on, man. Every time you're on my chats, it seems like all you want to do is be just negative about everything. I don't know, it just seems like that. There you go. Well, one thing we should keep in mind is we've been hearing these songs the same way for over 55 plus years. So we've become accustomed to every little nuance, and now we're hearing things we've never heard before. And some of them I like. I've said this before. I heard a guitar that I'd never heard before in the song Magical Mystery Tour, and I like it. So some new things I like, you know. What does this mean? Fans can have favorite albums, 100%. But the Beatles do have a best album, and it's not up for debate. Well, it most certainly is up for debate. Once again, I didn't hear you say anything like this on the other chat, on Tone's chat. Why not? Why nothing confrontational on his chat? Why not? Curious. What's the Beatles do not have a best album. It's up to debate. It always is up to debate. Some people think Rubber Soul's their best. Some people think Revolver's their best. Some people think Pepper's their best. The White Album. Some people think Abbey Road's their best. There is no best album. The Beatles have a lot of best albums. Yeah, of course, nobody's forced to buy these things. Absolutely. But fans have such an emotional investment in the artist that they feel they need to buy. I don't care. I still don't agree with that in a way. Yeah, of course, diehard fans like me and maybe you and maybe other people, collectors out there kind of feel like more, they're more tempted. Oh, but they know we're tempted. They know we're weak. They know we're addicts. They know we're going to want this. I don't want to hear anything. Nobody's forcing you to buy it. It's that simple. And Scott says he's grateful to have different versions to choose from. The King Lear stuff is in there. Well, wait, I don't. It's in there, but it's muted. It's definitely muted, Lila. I mean, it's nowhere near as loud and discernible as it was. I was never. I'm not saying it was ever brought up to 100. you know, I was always kind of a background thing, but you could hear it. It's disappeared. But I agree with you. And you say it's the tension building string sections that have gone for Walrus. There is no tension. I agree. And he's still only on Mr. Mayo's chat does he try to make trouble. You don't make trouble anywhere else. But thanks. What's this mean? Remix, remaster, yes. Adding tracks and bad tracks. No, you have no right to declare factually, and you do this only on my channel. Why don't you do it elsewhere? I dare you to do this elsewhere. You know, John's dismissal of what song was right? Which song? I Mean Mine? What are you talking about? How dare you? You know what I mean? How dare you? You're entitled to have your opinion, but Martin, don't go around declaring it's a fact that I Mean Mine is a lousy song. It's a fact. It's a bad song. It's a fact. The Beatles have only one album that's their best, and nobody can deny it. Nobody can disagree with it. You are really a class act. You really are. You really are. Yeah, well, it's already proven that it's kind of perfect because it's considered the greatest album a lot of times. Could the new Free as a Bird and Real Love be released on part of the Past Masters set? That's a good idea that I never thought of. If they ever redo the Past Masters, which they have to, they're going to have to get a lot of the B sides and odds and ends, singles and things done. But then again, I'm thinking, I wonder if they're going to, with the earlier tracks up to 66, I wonder if they're going to do that when they put out the deluxe versions of the early albums. When they put out Please Please Me, when they put out with the Beatles and Beatles for Sale and A Hard Day's Night, all that stuff, and Help, a Rubber Soul, are they gonna put maybe the singles, the B sides and things? Is Bad Boy going to appear on the Help album or something? I wonder. And I really believe this. I really believe that 100%. Not everybody is a diehard. I think Giles. Correct me if I'm wrong. Giles Martin has said at times he's not really like that, diehard fan to that like we are to the point where he knows every nuance in every song. I don't think he really knows a lot of them. And here we go again. Here we go again. Martin is talking about the people who listen. Why is that a problem? What is your problem, Martin? I told you I give you more chances on here, and these things you come up with. He's saying recording. In other words, what he's saying is he doesn't mind that people are getting misty-eyed and sad and emotional and crying about the new Beatles song now and then. What he objects to is recording it. It's like people have channels. I'm just using an example, or somebody turns their camera on. Okay, they have a channel. They record themselves, right? Now they say, I have not heard the new Beatles song yet. I'm going to listen to it for the first time while the camera is running, and I'm going to record my emotions. So you put it on. If you laugh, you go, right? If you like something, you go, oh, that's nice. And if you get sad and you start crying, it's captured. What is the problem with that to you? What is the problem? You think everybody that cries on camera is a phony. And that's not true. That's not true. And I asked you a question, Martin. I want to know again, why don't you ever give anybody else grief? I've seen you go onto other live streams and you don't talk like this over there. And then you blame me and you say it's my fault. Henry says, hey, Joe. Oh, I'm definitely with you. The more I hear now and then, the more I'm loving it. It's become. I mean, Martin's gonna love this. It's becoming a classic Beatles song to me. Oh yeah, yeah, it really is. I heard it on the radio a couple of times now, 2 times now. I'm like, yeah, the emotion behind that, the sentiment behind it. Astro Zombie says saying fact after you say something, an opinion, doesn't automatically make it fact. Fact. That is a fact, though. Now that's a ooh, that's a strong statement. In a museum, you get a curator that specializes in the actual thing they love and look after it. The Beatles tunes are exactly the same. They shouldn't be in the hands of a hand-me-down janitor. Ooh boy, that's a little strong. That's a little strong. I guess they just want to keep it all in the family, the Martin family. I guess I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that. I think part of the hate for Maxwell Silverhammer is because of how John and George disliked the song, which makes it uncool to like it. The song, it, the song is just uncool. Period. Even if I never knew that John and George disliked the song, I would think it's kind of a little cringy and silly and la di da. No, you know what I mean? I don't get it. Okay, we'll put this up here about the Boy Genius Band. Female rock band played Saturday Night Live last night, recreated the Beatles' Ed Sullivan set. They'll be acknowledged and rediscovered for many generations to come. Absolutely. What are you talking? I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody know? Does anybody know what this means? Joe, those 2 seconds sum you up. Does anybody know what that means? I told you some. I've challenged you here, Martin, and you have not risen to the challenge. I've asked you when you're here, why do you always say negative stuff? But then I noticed I watched, say, Beatley Tones thing for 2 hours, and you're on there asking a lot of questions, and it's none of this controversial or challenging stuff. It's always very basic stuff. Why do you do that? Can you answer that question? I dare you. Oh well, there's exceptions to every rule. So that was a rare exception. I'm not talking. That's the reason I have you here is because once in a while you do say something that makes sense. Once in a while. Oh yes, that's what I like. I like when Ringo's drumming is brought to the fore. Yeah, I've already said that. I mean, I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I do love that. Oh, this thing is near the edge of the table. I don't need that. I don't need that. Hello, Rafael, back in Brazil. What happened to the old brown shoe mix? He destroyed it. That's what happened to it. Old Brown Shoe is destroyed. Old Brown Shoe is the worst song on the 2 albums. The new Old Brown Shoe mix. The worst remixing job. All right, everybody. Martin says Sergeant Pepper is the best album. I can't explain that to people. It's a fact. Martin is basically saying it's a fact. It's indisputable. That Sergeant Pepper is the best album. And this totally indisputable. No opinions. That's. I mean, I've often said that, even though it's not my personal favorite, I've often said that Sergeant Pepper, I think, in a way, has the right to be called a masterpiece. Oh yeah, well, a lot of us are disappointed in the "She Loves You" mix. I think it's a real lost opportunity. But I don't. I think more could have been improved with that. They could have improved that. There you go. Henry has spoken. What's with this not understanding subjectivity and opinions thing? He has this really fascist way of thinking. Oof, that's putting it strong. We got 111 people here. Thank you all for being here. Please hit the like button. Help the algorithm. If anybody wants to help the channel, anybody wants to contribute, please do. And Henry thinks the White Album and Abbey Road are the top two. And Martin has spoken. Cultural impact. About Sergeant Pepper. John and Paul working together most on tracks. 1967, their peak year. The cover. A Day in the Life. The end. Notice the end. The end. Well, the ending of the album. You're saying the ending of the album. Thank you for your opinion. I appreciate that. I know that one person, Richard Dolan, for example, he hates A Day in the Life. He doesn't understand the appeal. He personally doesn't like A Day in the Life. So there you go. I don't really love the Christmas fan club messages. I loved them in the 70s. They used to play them every Christmas on the radio, and before I would like record them off the air. But I don't know if I have a favorite really. I don't love them. I don't. I don't know. To me, there's something in every one of them. There's something in every one of them that I can enjoy. Going from like 63 to 69. Sometimes I even like the 68 one. 69. There's things I like. I like Paul doing those little songs that he does, those little Christmas ditties that he comes up with. And I like the early ones when they're still young and they're joking around. So I know the one I like the least is 66. 66 is probably my least favorite episode. I'm also my good friend is Beetle Tone too, but you, Martin McGrath, you behave differently when you're on his stream than you do here. Just admit it. Yeah, a lot of people like this because well, I've always had trouble suffering fools. I don't suffer fools gladly, and that's why we have problems. Now, see this asshole again? Yeah, I got 108 people watching me call this guy an asshole. I just explained this to him. I just explained it to him. You're seeing here, folks, the epitome of why this guy's a troll. He goes, Joe, I do have an emotional heart. I know you think I don't. He says, but you see, when I cry, I reach for a tissue, not a mobile phone. I don't know how to explain that. And you've said that several times in other chats. And I just got done here explaining to you how when people have a channel and they want to record their actual reaction, it's not like they're reaching for a mobile phone, but they have a channel and they want to gauge their gut first reaction to the song. So they record them. I just got done explaining that to you. I'm doing it here again. And you're still going to repeat this. You're going to repeat. You're going like this and like this. You're going la 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 la. You don't want to listen to a word I'm saying, and you're going to come back next time and you're going to say, I don't understand it. When I cry, I reach for a tissue. But you got some people online, instead of reaching for a tissue when they hear now and then, they're reaching for a mobile phone. I told you they have channels and they record their reactions. I don't know why you can't understand that. Oh, yes, Canadian stud muffin. Absolutely. Very emotional. You better believe it. And it's very good at the end. I agree with you. I think it's really good. You listen to all of the Blue album, then you get that beautiful new song now and then. Beautiful primo Beatles, prime Beatles, primo Beatles at the end of it. And it's perfect ending to the album and perfect ending to their career. That's why it's so bittersweet. Yes, I know. I'm very sad about that. Beatley Tone broke his arm. I know. Yeah. And that puts it better. Martin, do you think these people who turn the camera and start a reaction to a video plan to cry? They don't even know what the video is going to be yet. Exactly. Okay, there's Martin's opinion. Martin says, I like Now and Then, along with Free Bird and Real Love, Free as a Bird, excuse me, and Real Love. But calling it a classic is an insult to real classics. Okay. Maxwell is a turd of a song, and you know Paul pushed it for a single. Now, people keep asking me about that, and I'll repeat again, I couldn't care less. Yeah, have I heard the 1964 style versions of Now and Then that people have made? There are at least two out there. I don't care. I mean, no offense to you, Secret Agent Paul, but I'm just not interested in it. And Martin says, listening to the Red Album, not John 1966 was incredible, riff after riff. I listened to those 66 to 67 songs, and I realized John's solo is tripe. Sorry. Okay. Michael says Martin ruins the chats, in my opinion. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that honest opinion. Thank you. Well, wait a minute. At least thank you, Michael, for having the decency to say my opinion. You know, whereas Martin, everything's a fact, and that's the way it is. If you don't agree with him, well, then you got a problem. Look, I've defended the song Maxwell Silver Hammer plenty of times for the very same reason that a lot of people say it's a serial killer song, and it's kind of like weird and bizarre in the sense that it's a serial killer song sung like a. I think I read somewhere once a comparison to like singing like a trip through the mulberry bush. Here we go around the mulberry bush. Like it's done in a kind of like nursery rhyme or fairy tale kind of style, but its message is a horrific serial killer message. I get that. I get it. I get it. I get it. I don't hate Maxwell Silverhammer as much as many people do. It's still a little annoying. It's still a little annoying to me. But I did do a video one time where I did put Maxwell Silverhammer in the most underrated Beatles songs list, in my opinion. Yeah, Martin has a thing that he says. He chastises a lot of you good people out there, a lot of you good viewers, and I love you all, who come on here and he says all you say is hello, goodbye, and that's it. You know, he's better than all of you. He's told me before. He says because he doesn't just say hello, goodbye. He has more meat, to it. There you go. Maxwell's not a favorite of mine, but the musicianship is so exceptional. Okay. Well, I have no problem. Paul says I feel the same about Maxwell Silverhammer as I do about Run for Your Life. The subject matter is not cool, but I still sing along in spite of myself. I no this. I don't necessarily mean you, Paul. So please excuse me there. It just happens to be your comment that came up here. But other people, also the ones that are so down on Run for Your Life, I never feel guilty about loving. I love Run for Your Life. I don't feel necessary for me to have to say, oh, it's not cool. Subject matter is not cool. Now, again, I'm not necessarily singling you out, Paul, because there's other people that say that too. They got to be PC. They got to say, well, I don't like that he says that, but I got to admit, I like the song a little. It's like, look, I have no problem with it. The Pipes of Peace video is good, especially with it being Remembrance and Veterans Day. I got to agree with you there, Woodland. That's definitely a fact, right? Yeah. There's some more wisdom for you there. John Lennon dried up in 1968, even though, of course, Imagine is arguably his greatest anthem and biggest signature song he ever wrote. If Google can't explain algorithm, I can't. Okay. Sorry, folks, just getting past certain comments here. Danny Ambrosi says this guy is causing. Well, that's why I blocked him. I block him. I let him go for a while. Then I have him back. Then I block him. Let him go. Come back. I do that all the time. And then Martin says that Henry backs every word that I, Joe, say. I wonder why, as if he's kissing up to me. Let me explain something to you. Plenty of times, Henry and I disagree. The Shining, we don't agree on The Shining, okay? We don't agree on a lot of things with movies. Don't give me that hogwash. There you go. Little plug there. Ah. What does it say? But is it possible during the remix of Walrus that Giles heard additional radio utterances of King Lear and embraced those in the mix? If you haven't heard "I Am the Walrus" yet, listen to it first and then get back to me, please. But the thing is, I'm just trying to say that I think it's garbage. I think he ruined the song. The end of it. The ending alone ruins the whole song. Let's see. Right, that's another thing. Yeah, the way the new Red and Blues LPs are packaged, it's true. I don't have it physically myself, but I've seen it in videos. They're three record sets, and they have one sleeve. One has the first record, and the other sleeve they jam in the two in the second sleeve. Now, are they tight in there? Because there's a possibility that the cardboard is sturdy enough that it wouldn't bother it. I have to actually hold it in my hand. When I get my copies, if I ever get my copies from the Beatles store, I'll be sure to let you people know what the situation is. I want to see if I feel that they work sticking two records into one sleeve or not. Hello, Darren Gamble is here. That's true. We disagreed. We actually have disagreed, you and I, Henry, didn't we? On Maxwell Silver Hammer. Right here. But man's got problems, He does. He's a little touched. Okay, Charlie says I caught your video yesterday on Hearing Now and Then on the radio. You were truthful and genuinely heartfelt. I'm touched too, and it's a classic. Absolutely, it's fast becoming a classic, isn't it? In a way, yeah. Martin's a drag, a well-known drag. We turn the sound down on him and say rude things. That's funny. Hello again, Darren Gamble. Here, everybody say good morning to Darren Gamble. Good morning. I said good morning to you, Darren. You do this. There you go. I don't think you're being bullied in the chat. I think you have a very bullying way about you. I think the way you conduct yourself is kind of off-putting and bullying. And I know you love that guy IR, who's a bully, and you're his biggest cheerleader. So I thought if you were being bullied, I would think that's what you love because you like that. So I'm not sure I understand that. I'm just enjoying the new single and the remixes. I see way more positives and enjoyment than discontent for me. Yeah, me too. There's stuff that I don't like, and as I say, I'm never going to ignore the bad stuff and just give you the good, or only just to tell you the bad and no good. But the thing is, yeah, Beatles came damn close, right? In that. Yeah, I've said this we haven't done videos together. I don't think we never did a video together, but Larry, Canadian Stud Muffin, and I have done like live streams. Actually, there is a video now. Well, one of the ones we did come to think of it on a Fab Gab. If you want to see us together, um, if you look on the playlists and you check my Fab Gab show that I do, Gary was Larry, Jesus, Larry, Canadian Stud Muffin, was a guest on the one for Please Please Me. He helped rank the favorite songs on Please Please Me. Good morning, Penny Lane. You're in my ears and in my eyes. Uh, Beatles fans on YouTube seem to be overhyping now and then. To me, it's not even in the top 50 Beatles songs. Oh, I wouldn't put now and then in the top 50 Beatles songs for me. At least not yet. I can't say that 5, 10 years from now I won't consider it being in my top 50. But the thing is, right away when anything new comes along, people, I've made a video on this. When it comes to like an old artist, they got to say, well, it can never be as good. I mean, no way can anything the Beatles do in 2023, Frankensteining things together can be anywhere near as good as their best stuff. It's almost like taking for granted that it shouldn't be. It's blasphemy to suggest that it could be anything really good. But no, it wouldn't be in my top 50 either, though. Uh, I never heard "Every Breath You Take" is not a song about a stalker that I know of. Now I heard that it's actually about his child. It was about his son. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. It's not about a stalker. Well, whatever it's about, I don't believe it's about a stalker. That's your interpretation of it. I think the new single and remixed album are a great way. Oh, we said this. I'm sorry. We did this already. Oops. Sorry about that. Henry says, I never caused this much drama, even at my peak of wanting a little attention. That's funny. I think the new red and blue packaging is a little lazy. Yep, it's also been fun having the Beatles community coming together to celebrate this new Beatles song. That was beautifully done. Hang on a minute here. Hang on a minute there, buddy boy. I've told you many times I love that name, Apple Pits. Do you remember me praising your name and saying, "Boy, I wish I would have thought of that." I'm always looking for a clever name like that. I remember saying more than once to you. I remember saying that if I had thought of that myself when I was looking for a channel name, me Mr. Mayo, Apple Pits is a great fucking name. Fantastic. Sorry if with all these 290,000 comments here, if I missed you one time. I'm sorry. You know, folks, really, it's tough. Let me tell you, it's fun. It's very rewarding. I love it, but boy, oh boy, sensitivities out there sometimes. Yeah, I know you're not a big fan of it either. You're one of those people that admits you don't like it much. It's good as it is. I think the magic is how they built the song around a demo tape. But yeah, I can take it or leave it. Yeah, I can understand that. Some people feel that. Hi, Robert Logan. I know you can't make the Chicago Fest, but will you be at the 50th anniversary? I'll be in Chicago, not New York. No, no, I am not going to Chicago. It's not happening. Never. I decided that I'll never go to the Chicago Fest. I'm sorry. I think you should come to the New York one, though, Robert. I'd like to meet you. Come to the New York one because there's a lot of reasons for that. First of all, it's too expensive. Another thing is, as expensive as the Beetle Fest is, once you add plane fare onto that, having to take the plane, it's even more expensive. And if they're not going to get, different guests, I'm just not going to do that go that far, But I would love to see you. Any of the people that go to the Chicago Fest, if you could make it to the New York Fest, boy, I'd love to see you. I don't know what to tell you, Lila, about the cigar and Charlton Heston and Planet of the Apes. Martin has a stick up his ass about this too. He says that I have nothing but sycophants on here. Martin once said the difference between Martin and all of you, he said, is Martin, is a Beatle fan, but all the rest of you are just Mr. Mayo fans, not Beatle fans. That's what he said that to me. He may deny it now, but he's written that to me in the comment section. He said that. He said Martin is a Beatles fan, but everybody else here just a Mayo fan. He said that. I don't know where he gets these things from. Okay, listen to the Red and the Blue albums last night through headphones in the dark. I was very enthralled, like I was hearing the Fabs for the first time again. No distractions, just the music. Yeah, Martin needs to understand the difference between bullying and constructive criticism. That's a good point, Henry. This is constructive criticism. His pal is bullying. The pal he likes. That's the difference. You never thought of doing your live streams in that room with a tablet or laptop? Wouldn't it be easier? I no, never thought of that. Boy, what a way to get attention. Laugh my ass off. Love you, Joe. Right back at you. Right back at you, Apple Pits. What a great name. Beetle Eddie, I know you feel like that. Beetle Eddie's also you. If I may say, Beetle Eddie, I know you're very old fashioned too. You're an older guy like me, and you're very old fashioned like me. So I know how you feel. Oh, it's good, but it's not top 10. I don't think it's top 10 either. But one day I think it has the potential simply because not so much that as a song, it's a great song, but as a sentiment, as a vibe, as an emotion, as gripping your soul, it's more that to me personally. Yes, thank you, because I try to do this. Mayo keeps up with comments better than most people. Some people can't handle 10 viewer comments. Yeah, I know it. I try to keep it moving. It's not always easy. Yep. I'm a little lost what that means. Much more fun than that pump associated. Oh, see, I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. I know what you're talking. You're talking about. He's. I'm going to put this here in the interest of fair play. I have another show that I do called Talk More Talk, and I don't think Lee's been there before. And he says my live stream, this live stream, is much more fun than that pompous live stream a few days ago. Talk More Talk. He's talking about. We have to sit through introductions, plugs, everybody's life story while the supporters have to keep their big mouths shut. Well, first of all, I admit that there's a little too much plugging there, a little too. I can't help that. That's part of the formula that we have to do. As far as the thing about people keep having to keep their mouths shut, you're talking about the fact that unlike here, everybody um, is just talking. We have like 4 or 5 people on the panel. How do you expect 4 or 5 people, Lee, doing a show to keep up with comments? We're doing a show and you people are basically watching. That's all it is. Now, I know you made a comment in the last one and you said, well, if you guys are not going to answer any of our questions, if you're going to go live and you're not going to address us or let us talk or answer anything we have to say, then why don't you just pre-record this? Why even go live if you're not going to answer our questions? It's because some people like to watch live performance. They like to watch the show live instead of pre-taped. And I've been doing this long enough to know. I've been doing this since 2019 with this show, Talk More Talk. We do occasionally take comments, and we do occasionally highlight things that people are saying. Not we can't do it as much, but we do that. Anyway, if you don't like that, then it's not for you, the show, obviously, and you can just watch the playback. It's the best I could say about that. Do you get a division at Beetle Fest between people that love tribute bands and people that hate tribute bands? Don't notice that. Martin says, don't say I don't like commenters on here. Do me a favor. Don't make it look like I'm misquoting you or I'm putting words in your mouth. You've told me that. You have told me. You have said it specifically. Own up. Be a man, Martin. Be a man, not a mouse. Okay, own up to it. You have told me the difference between you and other people. Now, there may be some exceptions like Lee Sana and Lila and Woodland Goblin. There are exceptions, but for the most part, you said most of the people here just say hello, goodbye, and they don't even care about the Beatles. They're just here because they like you, Mayo. You said that. You said the difference that I, Martin McGrath, am a Beatles fan, and they are just Joe Mayo fans. Your words, not mine. Own it. I don't understand. If Martin does not like what Joe and his channel does, what does he watch? Yeah, he likes to irritate me. That's what he likes to do. And I know, and I give it to him. I'm giving it to him. But you notice for a while I ignored a bunch of the comments too. Yeah, I'm in the mood. I told you that, Scott. You're getting a bonus rant video today. Yes. I told you I was in that mood today. I have a feeling that Martin really doesn't like himself as a person. That's the feeling. Don't forget, anytime somebody every time you point a finger at somebody else, three fingers point back at you. Remember that. Remember that. These new releases turn up John's rhythm guitar. Yes, I've noticed that too. Yeah. There's a lot of good jangly strumming rhythm. Yes, I've noticed that. And I'm glad. I'm glad. That's nice. Now and then is really more culturally relevant than ever, where it measures in the catalog as a whole. Andrea, who I've met at the Beetle Fest, says it's kind of like a class clown that thrives on negative attention. He needs your annoyance like oxygen, so I suggest not give him your energy. Just a suggestion. You're right. That's why I blocked him, but then I thought I could always let him stay and just ignore him. Now and then came to us at a very troubled time, so it's like getting a Christmas or birthday present. Thank you. I haven't done the movie chats in a while. The movie channel will get back. Right now, because of Now and Then and all the Beatles stuff, I've been obviously focusing more on the Beatles. But eventually, I'll get back to making movie stuff on my movie channel. Movie channel, don't forget, it's called Mayo's Offbeat Movies. Please subscribe. Mayo's Offbeat Movies. I think you're right. I think you're right. You're 100% right, Joe. It ends right here. Believe me, it ends right here, right now. Trust me. Watch me and see if I'm kidding. Favorite track on the new Red and Blue? I think that on the Red, I think "For Me to You" was a real revelation. I think "For Me to You" was the best track that they fixed, the nicest I've ever heard it on the Red. And on the Blue, um, you know, nothing really. I've heard most of what was on the Blue. I think what I like the best on the Blue is all the Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, uh, Sergeant Pepper, with a little help from my friends, and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, A Day in the Life. Oh, I think all that was great. Sorry, folks. Just look. Yes, the slasher movie Thanksgiving is going to be coming out. There it is. On I Am the Walrus, they put the King Lear too low in the mix. Well, I certainly agree with that. It's destroyed. All right, are we caught up? I'm the only guy I know that does not like If I Needed Someone. Lee, it seems to me that you're joining. You're in good company. A lot of people actually, you know, do love If I Needed Someone. To me, I like If I Needed Someone being a little more of a reserved sounding song, a more mellow sounding song. I don't like it kind of being too like rocking that song. That's my opinion. Okay, caught up. How's the audio holding up? Because I know sometimes my voice gets garbled, and I gotta like fix that about this time into the stream. You know, don't forget. I'm hoping that at 12 noon, an hour from now, 12 noon, I'm going to be doing a second live stream that's going to be hopefully Mayo Lounge, which means other people are invited to come up with me. And we're going to have hopefully more than one or two people here. So that's something to keep in mind. The new mix of Nowhere Man, I like it very much. That's another one that was a standout to me. I don't think a lot of people really think as much of it as I did on the new Red album, but I liked it. Thank you. So far, Mike, so far the audio isn't having a problem. But sometimes while I'm on here, it starts going, it starts getting robotic, and I gotta like plug in this jack and fix it. I didn't listen to "I Want You, She's So Heavy." You know, I figured it was this. I figured it was pretty much the same as the Abbey Road one. Oh, I definitely got to stand up after this. Okay, there's a nice comment. I've been blessed to have a brother who is a decade older than me and brought home Beatles music in the 60s when I was a little boy, which started the whole ball rolling when I was as young as three. Yep. Well, I started at 3 years old too. I became a Beatles fan at 3 years old, 3, 4, 5 years old, with the cartoons and the Beatle records that my relatives bought me. And then I became a collector when I was like 13. I started getting really into it. Chris says, I just saw your banner and a picture with Paul. Did he sign an album? He's not signing for me in that picture. He's signing for a kid. It's a long story. I don't, I've been through it before, but basically, Paul stopped a moment to sign for a little kid. He didn't realize that that kid was actually a decoy for his dad, who was an autograph dealer. So he thought he was helping the kid, but really was signing dad's autograph. And while that picture was being taken, I just leaned in like that, you know, while he was signing. So I prefer the classic horror films. Me too, Universal, etc., to the recent ones. Um, yeah, well, I mean, I like slasher films too. I like all kinds of films, horror films. But my favorite, my heart, just like the Beatles are my favorite music, music act. My favorite horror films are the Universal classics, the black and white classics. Yeah, the Red and the Blue albums were the first Beatles albums for a lot of people. Absolutely. No doubt about that. A lot of people feel that way. Oops, sorry, my big thumb is in the way. I hate having to do this, but I'm working from my phone. That's what I got to do. I don't believe Jaws is a monster movie. I mean, it can be considered many things: an action movie, a thriller movie, a buddy movie about friends, and also it could be a horror movie or a monster movie, I suppose. But yes, Aaron, Pete Best supposedly supplied the earliest unseen footage of the Beatles in their leather suits for the Now and Then video. Yes. I mean, I could swear I'd seen that before. I think some of us have seen that before that, though, was circling around. Yep, yep. Lee Marvin and talking about the Beatles in that movie, The Wild One. Is that the movie, The Wild One? I think so. Yeah, I got this bucket, this thing is moving, this big plastic tub here that I've got. So change that around. Okay. I gotta tell you, folks, man, sitting down this much, the chair that I'm sitting, this plastic chair, plastic school chair, is really killing my butt, my hips. I gotta say, I gotta get up and walk around a bit. Can't do this indefinitely. All right. Mm. Keep moving this around. Sorry, folks. I should stand up. I'd much rather stand up and do this. Tell you the truth. I probably could too. There might be a way I can do that. I'm going to try it. Just going to experiment here a little bit. I'm going to try this. Hold on. Whoops. All right. Because these chairs, my God. Oh, gotta walk. I like walking and standing. I don't like sitting a lot. Uh, See those plastic chairs, man? Those plastic chairs. If anybody wants to see, and I forget how you turn this around. You just walk around a little bit. I'll be with you in a second. This is what I was. This is where I was sitting. See this thing here? I had the camera lean it, little desk that I kind of set up there. That's where I was. And these are the chairs that I'm sitting in. One of these chairs. These things are very uncomfortable after a while. Very uncomfortable. Oh, great. There's a lot of little kids out there playing too. Anyway, let me turn the camera down a little bit. Hopefully, we'll be all right there. It's not a comfortable setup. It was a kind of place I had to. It was a place that I had to do this at because it was another room that I had to stay in. I didn't plan on being here. Oh, those things suck. Those chairs. Sorry, I gotta put my finger up here again. Okay, folks. All right. Uh, what a relief to stand. You know what's going on, folks? Feel much better standing. Should have done. Yes, bongos. Yes. Originally, you see those bongos? Yeah. Well, I just trying to turn it. There were bongos over there on the table. Yeah. I originally had the camera, my tripod on the standing on the bongos. I was trying to I had to make do in this room. Sit in your car? No, no, thank you. I've tried that, Danny. That hurts too. If you sit in the car too long, that's no good either. Bring a pillow to sit on. Yeah, right. You actually have. You know what's funny? There are pillows here too. That's interesting. There are actually pillows here. Maybe that's what the pillows are for. They got tons of pillows actually. Anyway, what's going on, folks? How about a Mayo lounger? Yeah, crackly Rosie. My whistling is good today. I usually can't whistle for shit, but my whistle. Yes, there are bongos. Absolutely. Yes, I was thinking of that with the Hard Day's Night. Yeah, uh, absolutely. So what's going on, folks? David Fishman says you're always a pleasure to watch. Well, I'm sure some people would disagree with that, but I appreciate everybody out there that does like watching, and I try to be as real and natural as possible. The good and the bad, the highs and the lows. I can't whistle for crap, but boy, it's a little for me. It's good right now. It's the best I ever do it. Have a snack to eat? What do you mean? I like your style and your comments. Thank you. I'm going to highlight that. See that? I like your style and your comments. Thank you. And it's not for everybody, obviously. Who is for everybody 100% of the time? You know. Um, so what are we talking about here, folks? Yep. Do, 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 do. Can I whistle a Beatles song? Yeah, John Lennon was a pretty good whistler. I'm not. Let's see. You know what song that is? It's very bad whistling. Do, do, do. All right, folks, come on. I want to go a little longer before I kill this because I'm gonna have a break. I'm gonna have like a 45-minute break or a half-hour break between this and my next live stream. Don't forget, I'm going to be doing a live stream at 12 noon Eastern. And it's going to be, I say a live stream, it's going to be hopefully a discussion with people coming up. It's going to be a Mayo lounge, anything goes, almost anything goes. And, I don't usually watch the Larry. Sometimes I pop in and watch the Larry Graves live streams. I've actually been on, I've been on live streams with Glenn and Larry before. I've been on. He's actually invited me on, but not in a while. But I have been. So I collect other acts in the Epstein stable: Cilla Black, Jerry and the Pacemakers. Jerry and the Pacemakers. I have a bunch of their stuff, but I don't do it just because it's Ryan Epstein. But yeah, I wish they would remix the early Beatles' earliest albums too, and I do think it's going to happen. I definitely think it's going to happen. Just got to be patient. We're getting these now, one thing at a time. Well, I doubt we can do that, David. David says, if I go to New York Beetle Fest, I hope to see you there. Maybe we could have lunch or dinner. The problem with that is I don't always have time to go to lunch or dinner, even with the people that I'm kind of like, my other YouTubers, like, Beetle Brad and Matthew Street and Tom and Andy. So I'll do the best I can, but you're very busy. You're either running around. I may be on a few panel discussions, so you don't really always have the time. Sometimes you even forget to eat, but we'll see. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, Beatle Tone had a great video where Mrs. Beatle Tone, his wife, was introduced, and she was helping him because he broke his arm, and his arm is in a sling. And I hope he gets better ASAP. But I never, it's funny how you take things for granted. Like, you take for granted the fact that you're able to have two arms and hold up a record album. You don't really think of that. And then one day you break your arm and you're in a sling and you need help showing albums. What's my favorite all-time Rolling Stones song? Impossible, because I love a lot of them. I really can't. It's funny how I say the same thing about the Beatles. Although with the Beatles, I name "She Loves You" as my favorite. But when it comes to the Stones, I can't really single out one. I don't know why that is, but so don't let me down. That's what I was whistling before. I mean, nobody could tell, right? I'm gonna try to whistle another Beatles song. She was the first one to get it because I can't whistle for shit. All right. Okay, very nice. Yeah. While I was at my Walmart, I saw one copy of a clear copy of Now and Then. I remember you showed it. I had to have it. Thank you. I'm glad that I could influence somebody for that. Here's the song I'm going to whistle. Here we go. Not very good. Terry. Anybody know what song that was? Uh, wow, David, congratulations. David lost 111 pounds. You feel terrific. That's about how much I want to lose. Thank you. Woodland Goblin got it. Very good. Very good. Very good. Um, I can't whistle. Wow, man. Do I know that one? I can't whistle. Nobody got it. Seems like a lot of people are going into. There we go. Secret Agent Paul got it. Thank you. Hold me tight. Um, a lot of people go into Walmart and finding um, releases there, singles and things like that of you know blue vinyl on 7-inch record, clear vinyl, 7-inch record. Yeah, absolutely. The rug behind me. Well, you people notice everything. I don't even know. Look at that rug. Yeah, that's right. Yep. I haven't even been to my local Walmart. I mean, it's funny because I want to get the blue vinyl, the blue 7-inch vinyl, which I did not order in the Beatles store. And if I went into Walmart, some people said they found the blue vinyl there. Maybe I should really try that. Okay. I am the Walmart. That's funny. That is a funny one. Yes, we did hear about Denny Lane. I hope Denny Lane's doing better. I know Denny Lane has had some problems. By the way, a lot of people have been asking about my record store owner, Bazooka Joe. Yesterday, I stopped in the store and he asked me uh, if he could record another video I put up here. So today sometime I'll put on another video, an updated video of Joe at Infinity Records talking about his updated health condition. When do you think Now and Then will reach number one in the States? I don't. I don't believe it's going to reach number one in the States. But it doesn't matter in the sense that as long as it reaches number one, whether it's now, should I say the UK? Whether it's UK or whatever it is, UK or US or both or whatever, it still goes down as number one. I don't like talking about COVID, Lila, at all. I really don't. It's still a thing. It's still a thing, but I don't want, people have it from time to time here, but it's nothing like what it was. Nothing bad to the point where it was. I mean, I say nothing bad. It seems like a lot of people that have it get over it pretty quick. All right, stay on a little longer. A little longer. I hear a lot of children out there. I hope they don't try to come in here. I agree with you, Henry. I agree with you. People have gotten on to living their lives as they should, and I like that. Yep. All right, folks. I'm going to go now. I thank you all for being here and checking out this live stream. Remember, I'm going to do another one about 35 minutes from now. I'm going to be back. Only this time, I'm hoping it's going to be a Mayo lounge where I'm going to have guests up, people joining me instead of just being me, and they can take some of the pressure off, and it could be somebody else instead of me having to do all the work. We can all talk. So, yeah. All right. So, thank you all, and I appreciate it. And yeah, stay tuned for the Mayo Lounge, 12 noon Eastern, right here. Bye.